Just, I'm just really proud of our team, our coaches, our staff, everybody associated with CSU football. And to have so many people contribute in a game that was meaningful is really satisfying. And we had a lot of guys hurt tonight. We got a lot of guys get hurt, get banged up, and guys just stepped up in their absence. And as a coach, it's incredibly satisfying. I mean, I keep reflecting back to my own college days. Our football team reminds me of my college years at Iowa when our guys just fought for each other. They didn't care who got the credit. They weren't worried about stats. They just wanted to not let their teammates down. And that's rare in football right now. I just did a radio deal and in this era of transfer portal and NIL, there's a lot of selfishness in college football. And to have a bunch of guys fight for each other and prepare for each other and not want to let each other down in competition, it doesn't happen every weekend. And so I'm so proud of that. Our defense holding them to 10 points is fantastic. We talked about that. We talked about out-rushing this football team. We had 44 rush attempts for 248 yards. And, it's not pretty all the time, especially in the second half. But, there is a meaning to that, and there's an effectiveness to that when you do it. And so, we struggled to find our continuity in the second half. Some of that was injury. Some of it was third down. Some of it was just not finishing blocks and identifying the right people. But I was really proud of the time of possession, 34 minutes to 25. Wyoming had been holding the ball for more than we had been holding it. And so we were able to flip that. Still have to be better on third down. But, I'm really proud of Braden. Braden, I get all these reporters asking me, Braden threw for all these yards last year. What does he got to do to help you? Braden needs to lead the football team. Braden's a captain, and he's a quarterback. And his job is to put us in position to win, period. And he did that tonight. I thought he was fabulous and made some incredible throws. You guys probably don't even know who Tommy Maher is, but he's a little freshman receiver, and boy, is he fun to coach. He is fearless. And, and I got to give Chad Savage a lot of credit for putting him in position. I think he probably scores on the fourth down play if we get the exchange to him. And then he had the big play on the long pass that Braden had, and what a big-time throw that was. And so just so proud of so many of our kids' performances tonight. Justin had over 100 yards rushing. Avery played extremely hard, got nicked up in the game. I know Gardner got nicked up in the game. He wasn't 100% when he started, but you just can't keep kids like that off the field when they're capable of playing. And so I'm just extremely humbled. And it's Military Appreciation Weekend. We had some incredible talks from our guests that were from the military, and we got our own Jeremy Copeland here as well. We had General James Dickinson here, 4-star general, CSU grad. Just it's very, very special to be able to thank those people for the amazing sacrifice that they've given to all of us. And so just a pretty cool night, and we got a lot left in us, and we got a lot of season in front of us still. And like I said, our goals were to win the boot. Our goals were to win the Ram Falcon Trophy, but our goals are much bigger than that. And so, you know, we're very satisfied and happy that we won this game, but we know that there's important parts of the season that are still in front of us, and we're excited to look forward to working to that next step next week.
Jay, over these 5 weeks, your defense has continued to improve. How impressed are you with the way that they especially played tonight and held that team down?
I thought it was great. You know, I'm very proud of our defense, and you know, and I think Freddie and the defensive staff has really worked hard. You know, so much of what we're doing is repetition, and we're really not doing things differently schematically than we did early in the season. We're just practicing it over and over and over, and we're getting repetition and experience from a lot of young and up-and-coming players, and we're getting Newer back, which is helpful. He's such a dynamic player. You know, Gabe Kurtzky, our secondary's playing better. We've got two really good linebackers in Chase Wilson and Boom Jock, and they're starting to play with a lot of continuity and confidence. And so, you know, I believed in the talent of our football team. When we started this season, I felt like we had a bunch of good young and up-and-coming players that were going to get better every week, and we coach them. You know, I told our kids at the beginning of the season that I was not going to coach them like a coward, that we were going to challenge them and make them better every day, and we've done that, and we've stayed true to that as a staff, and we're going to continue to do that and challenge them. And so that's the only way you can get better. And we have a good, sound, fundamental football team. I think we're starting to understand the components that go into winning, and we're starting to execute those things and put them into place in games. And so, you know, it's not a surprise to me that the results that we're getting. But we've got to continue to do that, and we've got to continue to develop our young players and help them get better.
Like you talked about, it might not always be pretty, but it seems like your team has become more resilient, rises up at the right moment. And does pretty not matter when you're watching your team walk around with the trophy afterwards? That's
pretty cool. Yeah, and you know, a lot of the things that we're doing, you know, it's complementary football. You know, and you know, I'm not trying to sit up here and try to educate everybody, but you see a lot of scores in our league that are 49 to 55, 45, 50, you know, 50 to 45, whatever. And then we play them, and it's not like that. Well, we're not going to allow people to play like that against us. And so that's how we're choosing to play right now with this group of players. It's how we have to win. And so, you know, we're going to continue to do that. And we have to continue to execute. You know, we have to find ways to execute and make plays. And I was really proud of that in the first half, you know. Really wanted that last touchdown badly on the fourth down. But we've got to continue to find ways to execute and get chunk yardage plays.
Jay, what were the emotions like for you seeing your team sprint from your sideline to the other sideline and snag that boot?
Yeah, it means a lot to a lot of people. I think that was pretty obvious after the game. And our kids have wanted to win that trophy, you know, badly. And so it means a lot. I mean, you talk about 125 years and all the former players. I heard for so many former players this week and coaches that have been in this game. And, you know, they all have a little part of it tonight. And you know, and we understand the importance of that, and we appreciate that, and we're humbled to have it in our trophy case, and so we'll take care of it, and we'll try to honor it every day by the way that we work, and I think that's we got a bunch of guys in that locker room that understand that.
A lot of different guys stepped up on the defensive side, but Dom Jones, 10 tackles. I think he had 3 on third down,
Yep.
a couple for loss in third and short situations. What kind of growth have you seen out of him this year?
I think the physicality of Dom and our secondary has just improved since the beginning of the year, and they've been challenged to play more physical. I thought we had some great stops on third down tonight that were really huge, and we didn't execute as well on third down offensively that we needed to, which is why we didn't score as many times in the second half as we needed to. But I was really proud of how we stepped up. We had a lot of guys step up, and Dom was one of them.
What impressed you most about how the team, I had a really good start, so it seems like they channeled the energy of this week really well. Kind of what impressed you most about
Yeah,
how they channeled that?
we've got a history of playing well off of bye weeks, and I just think it's the nature of how we practice, and we take care of our guys. We try to get them fresh, but we also try to get them to peak on game day. And I was happy how we started. I thought we started fast, and scoring on that first drive is big, and we've got to continue to do that early in games. We have a simple formula. We want to start fast in the first and third quarters, and then we got to continue to play through it, and we got to finish in the fourth. And I was glad that we were able to get that first down at the end of the game. That was a real positive for us. And so, we'll just keep working at the different situations that we need to improve on to win. But proud of that progress.
You brought it up. Who is Tommy Marr, and what has a walk-on freshman done to become part of the game plan?
Well, he's just really worked hard, and he shows a real natural feel for route running. I mean, that's not an easy route that he ran, and when Torrey went down, we used to do a lot of things with Torrey. So other players have kind of been auditioning to do a lot of the things we used to do with Torrey, and Tommy just can really run that route. And so I give Chad a lot of credit. I mean, to really have belief in him, because he hasn't made a lot of plays, but boy, was he ready to go. And I was really proud of him on that. That was a huge play.
Do you think your team is feeding off, like you see Jace Bella score a touchdown?
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't ever have that on their bingo
Yeah.
card. Tommy shows up out of nowhere. Do you think your players are feeding off the fact that opportunities wait and you guys are going to give it to them?
I think we have a staff. We're confident in our kids. And I think when coaches show confidence in their players feed off of that. And so, and we're not afraid to play freshmen. I mean, we've got a real history of doing that as a staff. And, we use practice as an experiment. If guys show up and do something well in practice, we'll give them an opportunity to do it in the game. And, Dane threw a touchdown to Braden tonight, and so that was pretty cool to see. And we'll just keep growing. And, I think it's I haven't done my homework yet on the explosive plays and all that, but we had a lot of different guys contribute, okay? And that's pretty cool to see when you have different guys contribute in making really big plays.
I think this was the first field storm at Canvas. Record student crowd. Just was it like experiencing that, and some of the long-time folks get the.
Yeah, so it was interesting because I was thinking about the Boise game, and what a special ending.
That one was.
Special ending that game was, and there was nobody here to see it, and so, but I think I got to give John Weber and our staff, our game day atmosphere is fabulous. I get caught up sometimes watching all the guys run around in the ketchup outfits and all that stuff, banana outfits. I'm trying to coach football. I'm watching these kids run up and down the field. It's pretty awesome, really. But to keep the kids here till the end of the game in the fourth quarter, where it's so important, and they were all there at the end. And so, you got to give our game day staff and our administration and John and his crew a lot of credit for that. It's fantastic. And so, you know, it's a fun atmosphere, and it was great to see all the kids on the field after the game. I don't know how many pictures I took, but I wish I had a nickel for everyone. But that was a lot of fun.
Jay, Rose Bowl memories that you brought that up. Who, as you keep this thing keeps stacking in a good way, who's your Hap Peterson?
You would not believe, Hap called me 2 days ago, and Hap Peterson was a nose guard on our Iowa team in 1985, and great captain. And you know, I mean, I'd say Cam Berto is our Hap Peterson, and I hope Cam's okay. I mean, he's meant so much to us, and him and James Mitchell have really had to hold down our defensive line in the middle, and those guys do all the dirty work. Their name's never going to show up in the statistics at the end of the game, but they got to take on double teams and plug the run game up, and they get beat up every week, and we try to patch them up and play every Saturday. But yeah, Cam would be our Hap Peterson. I'm gonna hit Hap up after this and let him know he got a shout out from me.
How rewarding is it for those types of guys, the Cam Beratows of the world, Chase Wilson, the people that have been here for multiple coaches, 5 years, to get to experience this build up? Yeah,
I think we had four guys that were here the last time we won the boot, that CSU won the boot, and I know it was Henry Blackburn, Dane Olson, Cam, and Chase, yeah. And so those guys they ran the flags out for us today, but they talked to the team. And, and I think that's something, and I gave several game balls out, but we gave all of our captains a game ball. And those guys did a fantastic job of talking to the players that had never played in this game before. We had a lot of good players that have never played in this game. And when you play in a rivalry game, you think you know what it's like, but until you're out there and you experience the intensity of the game and the hitting in the game, you really don't know what you're in for. And I thought those guys did a great job of telling our guys what it was like to play in this game and what it took to win the game. And so, and now we got a whole bunch of guys that know what it takes to win it. So we'll continue that tradition and pass it on to our younger players.
Coach, you guys are now 5-0 in the Mountain West. You've said your goals are always bigger than winning trophies. You said before the season started, you're the team that could probably compete for a Mountain West title. Yeah. Is that possibility starting to feel real? Yeah,
we're in a playoff mode. We're only as good as how we play every Saturday. So, we're a step closer. We got to go on the road now and play a good Fresno program, and they always have talented players and good skill. It's not an easy place to play in Fresno, and so it's a challenge. I've always respected this conference and the coaches in this conference and the players in this conference, and it's very even, it's very competitive, and you got your hands full every week, no matter who you're playing. So I think we respect that. We've never let our kids look too far ahead. And so we'll just go back and do what we do. We know this. We have to prepare and practice to play good. And, we're not even worried about next Saturday. We'll be worried about, Sunday when they come in and lift on their own, and Monday and getting ready for Fresno.
So you're not scoreboard watching Boise or UNL?
No, not really concerned about it, to be honest with you. Really not. We feel like we could play with any of those teams and beat them, and so we just need to make sure that we continue this journey that we're on, and we prepare ourselves to play every week.
Coach, on offense, you have all these players coming in, getting limited opportunities, but really excelling with them. How's that affected maybe like the more unique calls in your offensive playbook? We're trying to do things that schematically challenge the defense, okay? And so, they're not simple plays. So there is a lot of detail and a lot of study and a lot of practice that has to go into it.
and I give our guys credit. You know, they've really done a good job, especially later in the week, of really spending time together, watching film, and asking questions, and really getting to the bottom of the detail. And that's what good teams do. And you know, I think maybe for a lot of years around here, guys kind of checked out, and they really didn't do that at the end of the season. And so we have to keep doing that. It's a challenge to get everybody on the same page. You know, bring a guy in like Tommy Maher for a one special play and have him execute it properly. You know, I was proud of Dane on the reverse pass to Braden down there in the red zone, you know, in the first quarter. But that was a really well executed play, and so we just got to keep dialing it in and executing, and the more detailed we get at that, the more success we're going to have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.